Hello. It's very aggressive. Hello. Hello and welcome back to the podcast, Afternoons with Joon. How have you been? It's been a while. Well, technically, I guess it hasn't been that long because I keep uploading these random little sound bites or clips or whatever from my other videos. So if I'm making a video for the other channel, Boy with a Camera, then I just take the audio from that and then upload it here. Because I realize that people still want to listen to gear talk and stuff like that. So experimenting with that, trying to just make Afternoons with Joon a combined place of everything that's going on or that I'm making. But we'll see. Eventually, I want to definitely have a structure of sorts or a go-to program with this podcast, but it's going to be a while before we get there. Ideally, too, I would love to have somebody else on the show with me so we can actually have a conversation. I find I really like the natural tangents that come up in conversations versus doing something so structured or just speaking by myself, because that gets old really fast and it's just not, I don't know, it sounds weird to my ears and I think it could be a lot better essentially, but it is what it is for now. Today we're actually filming in the afternoon, which is the first, I think, and got a few things to talk about, but yeah. First thing we're going to talk about is the new video that I made, and that's kind of been the trend with these last couple of episodes on this podcast is just kind of trying to provide a behind the edit look or behind the video look at these kind of weirder videos that I've been making. So I just made a new playlist called A to Z, which is essentially what this little mini project of mine is that lately, to clear or clean up my thoughts and to organize this scatterbrained brain of mine, is to write a little bit more. I've never been one to journal. I've never been one to really have an interest in writing, but I found that it's been good. It's been good for the soul. So I've been doing a little bit more of that. And so far, we have 3 videos done, technically 4 now, and it's my favorite song, Living with Yeoyu, Repentance, A Reminder, and To Sleepless Nights. And essentially what I'm doing is I'm just taking different words from the alphabet. I'm trying to hit A to Z and write a little something about whatever that word is means to me at that time. So obviously the first one, I guess not so obvious. The word was alone, and I wrote about this favorite song of mine as of late called Alone, and just the thoughts surrounding that. Next one was Yeoyu, and thoughts about that, and then Repentance, and then the one I uploaded last night was To Sleepless Nights, so the word was sleepless. I feel like I'm developing a lisp today. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's interesting. So yeah, the video is about Sleepless, and it didn't really capture everything I want to talk about it, which is why I'm kind of excited to be able to do this supplementary talking about it. And I realized like the way I write is not very clear. It doesn't really even make sense to me sometimes, to be quite honest with you. It's just been a nice little brain fart in a good way or something. I don't know what I'm trying to say with that. But yeah, if you haven't watched the video, I would highly recommend go taking a peek. It's one of those like silent vlog type of things that I'm doing as of late, mixed in with writing. And yeah, it's just, yeah, I don't know how else to describe it. But essentially, this is called To Sleepless Nights, and it starts with me turning off the light in my room, and the entire video is, man, I don't even know how to describe it. I guess to set the context for the video, I've been having a lot of late nights or nights where I'm tossing and turning in bed and spending like 2-3 hours just trying to fall asleep, and it felt like a colossal waste of time, and it's been very, very infuriating, to be quite honest. And I've always noticed, though, it's because my mind becomes super active. The second I turn off the lights and I hop into bed, my mind just goes into 1,000 different places, and I'm just thinking about all these little ideas and projects I have. So it's never it's not like anxiety or anything, or like worries about things I got to do and that kind of lane. It's more like I just go on a very crazy brainstorm session, and it's always like that as of late, where thinking about the next project I want to do, or projects that I've been sitting on, things that I want to get out of the way so I can make room in the headspace for the next project that I want to do. And I just want to get things done. And I realized the anger part of this is because ultimately it's a waste of time. I can brainstorm all I want, but if I'm not executing during the day, I'm not, it's counterintuitive. It just doesn't make sense. So that's where it became frustrating, but then also came the realization that maybe it's because during the day I'm not doing enough. And that was the answer, where if I had made enough progress during the day, if I had executed on all these ideas during the day, then I wouldn't be thinking about these at night. I'd be thinking about, or actually I'd just be too tired or satisfied. I don't know. I'm too tired or too satisfied or something else so that I can sleep well that night. And that's what I noticed, that on days that I'm very productive and that I've given enough attention to the stuff that I want to be doing, to my passion projects, then I can sleep very well, and I'm spent in a very good way. By the time I hit my bed, then I'm good. I'm ready to sleep. So that's where the realization came that I haven't been doing that. I realized that this video, I uploaded it, and it's been 2 weeks since the last video that I uploaded. The other channel I've done, I think, is only, again, like one video in the last 2 weeks. So I just got caught up with life, I guess. I mean, we are in the middle of a pandemic, and I have bills to pay. I have rent to pay now. So I'm unfortunately allocating a lot of my time to just making money, and not even good money, but just getting by money, so that I can survive. And because of that, yeah, it's been on my mind, I guess, or it's been annoying because I haven't had enough time, I feel like, to really sit down and work on my stuff, which has led to a lot of these sleepless nights where I'm thinking about the stuff or imagining the stuff I want to do. And this is the other side of this video that I didn't really capture because, again, I don't know, it's just a simple video, and all this filming was on one of those nights that I couldn't fall asleep, and I had this realization that it's because I haven't been doing what I wanted to do. So I got up and just filmed this footage without really planning about it, just letting the video kind of flow naturally, and then putting it all together last night. Again, another late night where I realized, like, shit, I gotta get something out. I gotta get something out of my system, really, to move on. So in many ways, what I envisioned in my head for this video was a negative kind of storyline, or something that was, not negative, but not happy-go-lucky, bouncy type of thing. Not inspirational. It's just kind of very stoic and kind of sad, I guess, is the tone. But I also want to clarify that I took pills in the middle of this video. It's just melatonin pill, but I realized looking back on it that it could be taken as, like, I don't know, anxiety pills or whatever. But that's not the point I wanted to get across in this video. It's not like, oh, these demons are keeping me up at night. Although the tone of the video kind of leads that way, but it's just more like, yeah, everything I've been saying, where I realized that my days have been largely comprised of just real life, quote unquote. So when I'm in bed, my mind becomes super active in this brainstorm creative way. But yeah, those are those pills. And that's why the video is kind of in a negative space, I guess, in terms of tone. But really, the other thing and the great positive of having these sleepless nights is the realization that shit, I'm beginning to find what I'm passionate about. I'm beginning to understand that there are things that I care about that actually keep me up at night. And that was the other realization, is that every time I can't sleep, or sorry, not every time, a lot of the times when I cannot sleep, it's because I'm so excited for something that's happening the next day. I'm sure for any of you listening, you're probably interested in cameras. So the Sony a7S III being announced, or if you ordered the new C70, let's say you pre-ordered it, and you know that tomorrow is embargo day or whatever, you know that you're going to get that camera tomorrow. The night before, you're not sleeping well. Like, I don't know, at least for me, I'm imagining the feeling, the rush of getting that new camera, and then I'm excited for the projects that I can do with that camera, like specifically, and I can't sleep because I just keep imagining these great things and these positive things and happy things, and that's in a way that's what's going on with me on a lot of these sleepless nights. That this shit that I'm doing, it's not. I'm not getting anywhere technically, I guess. But it still brings me so much joy to be able to edit stuff for myself and to film stuff for myself and to talk about shit that I actually care about. Yeah, like it keeps me up at night in a very good way, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But I didn't really capture that in this video, maybe in a future one. But yeah, that's the other side of being sleepless. It's just, I think it's a very good indicator of what you actually care about, because you're able to really see easily what excites you. It's funny because I've heard a lot of people say to find something that you're passionate about, think about what gets you out of bed each morning. But for me, it's just what keeps you up at night, what gets in the way of sleeping. Because for me, when I'm thinking about the things that I'm passionate about, I get this rush of energy and I want to work on something right away. But realistically, logistically, a lot of things, you might not be able to do at 4 a.m. in the morning or 3 a.m. Just because, the rest of your apartment's asleep. The people that you want to work with are asleep, and maybe you need light and you need sunlight and yada, yada, yada. But yeah, it was just an interesting notion to me, that was my way of finding what I'm actually really, or beginning to find what I'm really passionate about. Yeah, so that's that video. That's Sleepless. And speaking of passions, I think I wanted to, I don't know. Speaking about my passions, I guess, it's become very clear to me that I actually really like the gear side of things. So this new channel of mine, Boy with a Camera, just did like a huge IBIS comparison, which is, IBIS stands for in-body image stabilization. For those who don't know, it's what makes your videos look less shaky when you're shooting with a camera. It was a super in-depth breakdown, and I was super excited about that video, just making it and putting it together. It was very tedious and a lot of work, there's no reward that comes out of it, but it was fun. It was great to do, and I feel like I really neglected that part of my interests, I guess, because the camera community is so toxic, and this obsession with new gear becomes very unhealthy and very dangerous in terms of finances. So I'd been oppressing that, but lately I've just been letting myself go in terms of making videos about it. So if you're interested in that stuff too, please check out the other channel, plug there. But also, yeah, I think it's a cool revelation for me, or realization, that I get to, work on another passion of mine. But of course, I still wanted to make these videos, and I'm going to. I still want to hit all the letters in the alphabet, and then I don't know, maybe make like a little ebook from that. That's the plan, I think. Yeah, another thing I'm working on is building a website, so I'll probably brand it as Boy with a Camera, but I want to put all this stuff under there too. It's gonna be a mess probably, but everything that I do is a mess, so what's new there? But yeah, so I'm just excited. I really am, and I've been losing a lot of sleep over it, which is, again, that's not what that term or that phrase generally means, but for me, it's a very good thing, I think, when I'm I'm losing sleep over something, is what I realized in this video. And other than that, realizing that I have a passion for this shit, and then realizing that lately the negative side of losing sleep is because I haven't had the time to properly really tackle these ideas of mine, is realizing that I really need, I mean, I'm beating a dead horse, but I really need to separate making money or the worry of money from this creative stuff of video and photo and whatnot, because all of the above, really, which is why I'm very excited for January. And that's a little update for anybody who's interested, is that I'm finally taking the first steps towards becoming an academic advisor. And it's been a struggle during Corona, because I guess everybody doesn't want to work or something, but things have slowed down considerably in the customer service department all across the board in all industries. And at the university level, yeah, there was some weird stuff with my application. Like, technically I should have been starting school in September, but that did not happen because they messed up my application, and I was calling them for, I think, 2 weeks straight, and I didn't get an apology or anything, but that's a different story. Long story short, January, I'm starting school. I'm excited because I'm going to try to get that student job and do the practicum at the university so I can get my foot in the door, make some connections, work my way up to an academic advisor, and I think I'll enjoy the job. I mean, that's a kind of a side story, but the academic advisors in my life have definitely had an impact, both negative and slightly positive, I guess. There is a part of me that wants to be able to do their job a little bit better, but I know that's an ego thing as well. But also something that I definitely believe in, because they kind of led me, not astray, but I don't know. One person I'm very grateful towards, though, for sure. Like, he told me what I wanted to hear and needed to hear at the time in a very honest way, and that has influenced me for the better. And I want to be able to do that for other students too, and make a living from that, a day job. And I'm excited to get some sort of routine in that sense. And then essentially, I just want to be able to get to a point where I have enough downtime that is actually downtime. Because I think as a freelancer, or as a person who maybe like, if YouTube is your full-time career, I'm sure that you're thinking of everything as in relation to that career. For example, whenever I'm freelancing, then my working hours are 24/7, and there's always something that I can be doing. I can always be working on my website. I can always be pitching potential clients. I can always work on the current clients' relationships and whatnot. And obviously there's the editing and the shooting and improving your gear and all that stuff, or learning new techniques. It just never stops. It's endless, and I don't like that. It's just with my personality and tendencies, is a very unhealthy place and space to be in. So I want to avoid that as much as I can, which is why it's very nice to be able to have that type of goal, I think, as your North Star, where for me, YouTube is the thing that I don't really care about in that sense of like, oh, I want to become a content creator is the term. I want to make a full-time living from this, and so on and so forth, because I know that the second that I depend on this for money, it's not going to become enjoyable to me. And that's just the way I operate. That's the way I've always been. In hindsight, it's just my personality. So I'm excited. That's it. I'm excited for January, man. Like, I'm excited to make this pivot finally, and just really step away from anything related to video work. And just really have fun. I think that's what I was missing. Like, this whole journey of emotional ups and downs and whatnot, I feel like at the end of the day, it's just I was missing having fun. I really miss laughing my heart out. I really miss just enjoying the day-to-day things. And yeah, I just feel like being busy or feeling busy 24/7, or feeling like there's more to do all the time, really takes away from life and the little experiences that really matter the most, like little funny moments that I really care about with my family, with my girlfriend, with my friends. I miss that pleasure. And I'm so glad that I'm finally kind of addressing that and slowly taking steps towards rediscovering all of that stuff. And yeah, so we're in a good place. And that's it for this week. If you are also, struggling with sleepless nights, or just in a weird way enjoying sleepless nights, I would love to hear from you as well. Please reach out to me, comment on this video. I think this will be a video. Or reach out on Instagram. It'll be in the show notes. And yeah, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're all healthy. Let's not forget we're in a pandemic. Yeah, I hope you're being creative too. And thank you so much for anybody who's been supporting this little journey of mine. And I hope that I can keep on making stuff that, obviously, it's all stuff that I'm going to enjoy making, but I hope that you also get some joy out of it. And if you're on the fence of making your own stuff, I realize, like, last side note before we end this thing is that I've always cringed at people who said that they want to inspire other people to do shit. And I always thought it was super fake. But, being in this little space online and just hearing from people what my videos do for them, or hearing how people are inspired by just me going out on a limb and just not giving a fuck and doing things, makes me, puts things into perspective of, yeah, I've been blessed with this weird personality of not really caring what other people think and doing personal projects that somehow exist online for the public to see, which is weird dynamic, but it does feel good to hear that, to play a part in somebody else's life like that, in that capacity. So I do hope, if you are on the fence of creating something for yourself or not, that this little action of mine of creating some stupid video online encourages you to pursue that. Because ultimately, I think it's a pursuit of joy. It's part of that process. It's one thing in that long, arduous journey. And I would highly encourage anybody who are unsure of themselves to just shut up and do it. Just go for it. And don't really think about or care about any potential consequences or what people might think or whatever, your brand, quote unquote. Just do it. Just find joy, because it's worth it, really, at the end of the day. Anyways, that was Afternoon with Joon. Hope you are having the day of your lives, or whatever. I don't know what to say. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.